How they are, you guys? I am Fastidious. And you know, with all the Crocod, the Throat Ripper hype right now, with that fusion having just launched, and the bond skill that PACKMASTER gives him, I feel like somehow, a little bit, my impression at least, is who PACKMASTER is as a champion has been a little lost. So I thought we could do a little reintroduction to a former fusion who a lot of people never liked, but who is a lot spicier and a lot more relevant now that Crocod is entering the game. And quick reminder, if you're not yet playing Raid Shadow Legends, use my link in the description in the top pinned comment to download today. It's the best link in the land. Also, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. So the best place to start is just clicking through his skills really quickly, and you can see this new gold thing shining. That is Crocod getting added to the list of doggies that enable special bond abilities in his kit. And actually, ways he boosts them a little further. So another boost to Crocod that's kind of slept on. There's obviously the stuff that PACKMASTER is giving him, but if we look at the passive over here, I mean, right out of the gate, right? When PACKMASTER is attacked, all of his dogs are going to counterattack. That's just an extra part of Crocod magic that I feel like is slightly lost because it's not directly written in his kit, but it is something he benefits from, not PACKMASTER, even though it's hidden here. There's tons of stuff, and actually there's a lot of guarantees that bringing a dog enables for PACKMASTER, but none of these dogs previously were worth it. Like maybe Fellhound for really specific stuff, but if we go through the list here, Terror Beast frickin' sucks. Goremask, lame. Houndspawn, lame. 2 farmable units, right? Hellfang, whatever. Fellhound, probably the best of the bunch. And then Stick Beast, gross. Stitch Beast, excuse me. One of the worst Void Rares in the game. But now, he's going to have all these special things enabled by Crocod, who's someone you're dying to bring. And actually, it becomes, wow, I gotta bring PACKMASTER now. As opposed to, you're bringing PACKMASTER, and now I gotta bring some random dog. So I thought we could just talk through the kit very quickly. And you know what? Let's start with this aura right here. Speed in all battles. Why not? Fun, easy place to start. Let's zoom out a little further. PACKMASTER obviously is an orc. He has phenomenal teeth. Teeth only a mother could love. He's an HP-based unit. If we look at the total stats here, they're coming in pretty solid. 22.3k HP. Base speed a little slow for my liking. Everything else pretty solid. The low roll on the crit damage, so they're not envisioning him as a DPS, but as you'll see, that obviously makes sense with the kit. Starting with the A1 kill command, he's going to attack one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a big version 60% decrease defense debuff for 2 turns. Pretty simple A1 there. Nice to have the 50-50 on the big defense break. Goes up to 70% with skill ups. But the key thing, right? This is effectively an ally attack skill always when there are any doggies there. So it could be all of them. It could be one of them. For most content, the way we're going to use him, it's going to be him and Crocod. So let's think of it this way. Then he teams up with Crocod to attack. So if Crocod's there, he's going in for a second A1. That's very good, very powerful. And also Crocod is going in with his phenomenal A1. I guess this is the one skill we can go back to the Crocod champion page to highlight. This A1 is really good, right? It's an AoE, but every hit is coded as single target, so you don't have to worry about AoE damage reduction stuff, particularly in the Hydra. Additionally, it is going to ignore reflect damage, ally protect buffs, and pain link. It is very, very good. And when he's counterattacking with PACKMASTER Shayak, we're getting double damage. And you'll see when PACKMASTER Shayak gets hit, I mean, we briefly talked about it with his passive, any of the dogs are going to counterattack. So Crocod's going to counterattack with that big AoE that's actually coded as a single target that ignores all of those things, and now it's dealing double damage. Let's go to the A2 now, Pack Alpha. It's a long one, but don't worry, I'll take you through it. This is the supporty stuff in his kit. He removes all the debuffs from himself and heals himself by 50% of his max HP. I do not know why it's saying them and there. I guess we have a non-binary PACKMASTER on our hands. Then places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is equal to any surplus heal. That's a big heal at 50%. So if you're over 50% health, anything extra, however much you were above 50%, that's going to turn into overflow shield. The best part is if you're at full health, you get a 50% HP shield. Really nice. This shield buff cannot be removed, stolen, or transferred if at least one of the doggies are there. So when you're with Crocod, this is now a protected shield. Finally, he's going to place a taunt buff on himself and a 30% reflect damage. It's going to last 2 turns for both of those. These buffs cannot be removed again if there's a doggy there. So just to zoom out, basically, he does a big heal on himself. He does a self-cleanse. He places a shield scaling off of the excess heal, the surplus heal. That shield is protected, and then he places a reflect damage and a taunt on himself, also protected, because you're bringing Crocod. That is the view that's the lens through which we are looking at this. The A3 now, it's pretty nice, 3-turn cooldown, fills the turn meter of all allies by 25%, has a 100% chance with books of placing an AoE block buffs on all enemies for 2 turns. AoE block buffs, very, very nice, 100% chance. This only takes 3 books if you get lucky. And then the best part, because we're bringing Krokod, this is an irresistible debuff. These are going to land, so you don't even have to build any accuracy upon him, because this is his main skill, and it is not going to require accuracy. There is one other thing in his kit that you do need accuracy for, and that is placing the hexes. I wish these hexes from his passive were irresistible as well if he had doggies on the team, but they are not. You'll see when he is attacked, he places 1 hex debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Ally attacks on targets under a hex debuff placed by this champion deal 20% more damage. These do not have to be ally attacks that he triggers with his A1 with the doggies. It could be other units with ally attack in your comp. This is a pretty nice, unique little thing here. Increased damage from his passive when anyone's attacking with any ally attack against an enemy under the hex debuff. Finally, we did talk about this, but whenever Packmaster is attacked, we are getting a counterattack from Krokod and any of the other dogs. And that's amazing, right? Because when Krokod is there and he's on the same team as Packmaster and he counterattacks, he does that brilliant A1 and it deals double damage. So kind of a short, simple video today, but I wanted to give us a whole vision, talk it through pretty quickly, what it might look like with Packmaster when you actually have a dog there. Because I think previously people fused this guy, thought they'd use him with some dogs, and they didn't, because the other dogs, Terror Beast, Goremask, Houndspawn, Hellfang, Veilhound, Stitch Beast, who cares? Kind of, not to be rude, but you know what I'm saying. With Krokod now, you're dying for reasons to get Packmaster into the battle, and when he's there, he's going to be at his highest form, because Krokod's really bringing the best out of him. And I think it's going to be pretty dang cool. I'm a little perturbed that we don't know how Packmaster is going to be made available to us. It makes me think it's not going to be in a player-friendly way. I mean, let's be honest. If it was some really exciting thing we could all look forward to, like, hey, there's going to be a path event that you can do just by farming the dungeons, and you're going to get Packmaster at the end, I feel like they would have told us it's going to be a champ chase, or it's going to be a prism event, or it's just going to be a progressive and like 1% of players will get him. But a lot of you probably already fused him, so now if you already have him or maybe just randomly pulled him since his fusion, now maybe you have a better idea of how he's going to synergize brilliantly with the new golden doggy, Krokod, the Throat Ripper. I've been Fastidious. One final reminder, if you're not yet playing Raid Shadow Legends, or you want to start over, or you want to start an additional account, use my link in the description and the top pin comment. It is the best link in the land for champions almost immediately on your new account, including Basilius Roanus, who you get immediately on download. It's so cool. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.